Hello and welcome to Long War of the Chosen Mod Jam Plus with me, Illogical. If you guys are unfamiliar with Mod Jam or Mod Jam Plus, this is a modded playthrough of Long War of the Chosen. So it's using Long War, and then we're using a ton of mods on top of it, which will be in the description below. This series is specific for YouTube. I'm starting this off today with hopefully me going through and discussing many elements of Mod Jam and things that it changes, adds, and enhances. This is somewhat also, I guess, a follow through of Long War of the Chosen, but please be aware that Mod Jam does change some of the Long War mechanics while leaving most of them intact, specifically stuff related to the Geoscape. We are going to be playing this on Legendary, and we are going to be starting with the Templar, mostly because I do really enjoy the Templar, and there has been changes to it that I think are fun and enjoyable, and it's a good class to showcase. We're also going to be disabling the tutorial. That's it for the advanced options. We are going to be playing without Iron Man, but this campaign should be treated as Iron Man. The reason we do not play with Iron Man is currently, since it's not fully released yet, there can still be bugs and things that can go wrong. And Mod Jam is currently in development and being updated. We want to make sure that we have saves, backups, and can help provide details to fix things if necessary. We are going to be integrating the content, of course, and we're going to be diving right into it. The first mission, of course, being the one, the only Gatecrasher, and she's about to say the line. Here we go.
Excitement continues to build.
We are not going to be watching all the cutscenes, though. I don't think that we need to at all. While this is loading up, the first thing I should touch upon is we are using a mod that changes the loadouts of your soldiers. This will give them different weapons, grenades, potentially medkits, and this creates just, more variety every single time you launch the game. So if Gatecrasher was not your forte, I don't understand how that can be. You might find some interest in this mod specifically. Change is good. Hopefully this loads up here relatively quickly. Oh, there we go. We are also using our character pool that I have put together from stream. This is a collection of characters people have submitted, including hero characters can potentially show up that people have redeemed through channel points. So if interested in getting to the character pool, you can comment below or you can stop by my stream, get some channel points, and we can make you a character there.
The squad is concealed.
First thing I like to do is always take a look at who we have. We have Karuka, actually the developer of Mod Jam and many of the mods that we are using. Eagle Claws, Liquid as our Templar, Jolie the Barbarian, Beefy, Provox, Kickboxer, and Great Padinsky. Immediately you'll notice that we have several weapons that are not native to Long War of the Chosen, such as the Hunter Rifle, the Marauder Auto Rifle. Anything else? Kind of looks like that's it to begin with. We're also going to have access to several types of different utility items that are not in Long War of the Chosen, such as the AP grenade. This is a very good grenade against enemies that are unarmored. If they have armor, it legitimately does like negative armor piercing, so it'll reduce the damage basically down to 1 in almost all cases. Now, with any good Gatecrasher, the first thing we need to do is move.
No problem.
And start trying to figure out where the first pod is. Thankfully, we are not on a subway map, but this does mean that there's quite a few positions that these enemies can be at. We have found the first 2 pods. The officer pod that has a drone and armor, and the unarmored trooper pod with the gunner engineer sentry. Now, because our Templar does have an AP grenade, there is a reality that we do want to feed him kills, mostly probably 4 of them, if possible. You're stuck back there, which is why it's not letting me move. Now, I'm really hoping that they do not see him, or this will get dicey really, really fast. But with that information that they potentially could see us, I am going to keep maybe 2 people on Overwatch while trying to get everyone else closer. Getting closer is going to reduce our aim penalties on several of these weapons, but most of this stuff is probably going to die straight up with AP grenades. Now, Mod Jam does change the difficulty curve a little bit, with the intent for the end game and mid game to be harder than the early game. So the early game does feel a bit easier with AP grenades. this is intended. And hopefully we get to showcase that value here very soon. I am going to want the Templar to hopefully get the 4K on this group, or at least the 3K, which would make it a lot easier to level him up. Now, grenades still do have fall off, so while this would be centered on the sentry gunner for the most part, it may not kill the engineer or even the trooper. With having another pod in the nearby as well, we don't necessarily want to engage right off that, as I don't really have a way to control that pod or kill it just yet. The other tactic that I do like using quite a bit is force revealing, aka the Beagle Rush. Since we know that both these pods are within our line of sight and on green alert, they will not get a yellow alert potential action, which is where they could do some damage to us. Using this information, I'm going to keep everyone really in Overwatch for the moment and see where they reposition, and if they want to come closer to us, give us a good opening. No, die before we even get started. They are going to spot us, so we are going to get the Overwatch. See if we can't get a couple kills out of the way to get started. Does look like we are getting some good damage and kills, actually. Wonderful. Okay, the drone does want to come play. Even a little chip damage on the drone is good to start with, though now we can't grenade it to shred the armor, because the grenade does have the potential of simply killing it, and I didn't want those corpses. Now the engineer is probably the least dangerous out of all three of these, with the gunner and the sentry being the most dangerous. Our Templar is in full cover here, and AP grenades don't really have a good environmental damage modifier. That being said, I don't really want this car to blow up on me if I can help it. Do think we are going to move the Templar away before throwing this AP grenade and hoping to kill both the sentry and the gunner, but the priority here is to at least get one kill. And it got neither. Well, let's find another AP grenade to help finish these off. I know we are in half cover, which is basically no cover, but I'm fairly confident that we can control this environment enough to not feel too many threats. The disappointing thing now is that the Templar did not get any of those kills like we were hoping. So we're really not going to be able to feed the Templar the experience and get the early promotion. As you can see, AP grenades certainly do a number. So we're getting, the only aim malice we're getting off of this shot here is from the innate defense on the surveillance drone. We are going to need to kill that surveillance drone. I'm also going to want to pick up all the loot if possible, and I don't know about killing those two back there just yet. This drone really does not want to die here. I am going to get a flashbang to reduce their aim. They are going to be shooting into half cover. So, and since we know we're not going to kill them, let's take a moment to do that. Good kill on the drone. Let's actually bring Eagle Claws over here and start grabbing the loot. Conditioning. Overwatch on the trooper, and a shot onto Karuka from the engineer, resulting in a miss. No damage taken. Now, I don't know if I have a decent way to clear that Overwatch here, other than potentially taking a few shots. This would potentially be the fake cover because of how full cover that you can't peek around works. So I'm not sure I want to do that. The Templar here, actually does get to mitigate a few points of damage if he hit. So let's just YOLO him forward and hopefully get a little bit of experience on him. Wonderful.
No, nothing's eternal.
Have Eagle Claws pick up the rest of this loot, get in a position to potentially flank that engineer, hopefully forcing him to move, because it does look like we are going to need to take some Overwatch against him.
Location confirmed.
Now, I do not know where the last pod is,
Fine.
but I'm hoping that we don't reveal it. And since we know that the Templar can fully eat whatever shot he wants from that engineer, we are going to leave him out in the open and try and do that. But the engineer being flanked, in theory, does mean that he is going to move. And we're hoping one of these Overwatch shots can just do enough damage, a shocking big 1, that this guy is no longer a threat. We are shooting that Overwatch shot through full cover there, and the engineer is going to go for a flashbang, which isn't something that we really need to worry about. Disorient, not that big of a deal. And on the bright side, our Templar can now generate another experience point and a point of focus for the final pod.
I've managed one thing for now.
The final pod is going to be a sectoid with some other type of unit with it. In Mod Jam, this unit can be a Biotrooper, a Frost Trooper, a Frost Droid, and anything from the default pool. But that's quite unlikely, seeing as the weights were somewhat changed for Gatecrasher to see more unique enemies. Since we have heard no noise, we are going to have to go hunting. As will is still important, so we don't want to spend all day here. I will use this opportunity, though, to double move several people forward in hopes that we can actually get some sound cues on where this next pod might be. Keep a few Overwatches to mitigate yellow alert shots, hopefully. And not leave ourselves too far out of position.
On your order.
We do have this beautiful mansion map, which comes from one of our map packs that we've added. But the one downside is AI might not be able to traverse it as easily. Though I haven't had really any problems using this tile set on my live stream campaigns.
I see your angle. Okay, I'll go.
So we'll keep the Overwatches rolling. We do hear them in the back over here. And I would very much like to reveal them if possible. Okay, so we do have a Biotrooper and a Sectoid. Biotroopers are dangerous as they do have a poison grenade, so if not handled and grouped up, we could take a lot more damage than potentially otherwise. Now, we are going to be able to get our Templar behind full cover. And get a nice little starting volt on the Trooper and Sectoid, increasing our aim against them. Jolie is in a very poor position to take that engagement, and it doesn't look like we actually are going to have too much follow-up this turn. Putting a lot of our guys into half cover, which is not great, but it's probably going to be better than grouping them up. If Kickboxer can get the flashbang on the Biotrooper, that might be the solution. And it does look like we could get a flashbang, but let's see if we have any other shots first. Don't think we do. The flashbang would, of course, disable the
Seems doable.
grenade of the Biotrooper. The Biotrooper also has 65 base aim. We could go into half cover, get a flank, force some movement, and try and take some Overwatch potentially. seeing as we really are not going to get any decent shots right now.
Affirmative.
Otherwise, gonna try and get people into full cover with line of sight on these targets, mostly in prep for the next turn, as I do think the flashbang is the correct play right now. One, it will limit his mobility and reduce his aim.
Flash out.
Kovacs can sit on Overwatch in case this guy wants to come running forward. We do get a full mind control onto our Templar. Hopefully we have enough grenades. This will not be a big issue. And Jolie, hopefully you can dodge this. 1 point of damage, only ablative, as we say. Really okay with that. So now we need to probably start by flashbanging the sectoid. And the reason being is we have another point of focus, which could potentially just kill the Biotrooper, feeding another point of experience to our Templar, as well as increasing the aim against these two. The Liquid, you actually can just go melee it. Even better.
Just the tip of the iceberg.
And it does look like Kickboxer can find a flanking position on the sectoid. Hopefully hitting it, getting additional aim for our other soldiers if they're flanking, and putting us 1 point away from finishing this Gatecrasher. Great Podensky with the final shot, it looks like 100%. Wonderful. Flawless as expected.
Well, how about that? Positive confirmation. Area secured. Status confirmed. Mission accomplished.
Oh, wonderful. Great photo there. Join the fight. Now, when we get to the Avenger, there are going to be a few things we do set up, and then a save that I call my no bad timer save. Hopefully we don't have to use it. In theory, we should not have to use it, but it is something I like to do. And hopefully I can start explaining some of the stuff that I'm saying that's going to be different in ModGym. We are using a mod called Choose My Class. This is going to give us 3 options for our classes in order to turn them into soldiers that we think will be useful for them, while not creating too much of an imbalance of allowing you to select any and everything. We also did get a bond between Great Podensky and our Templar. Now the first thing that we'll do is we'll go to research, as is tradition, and you'll see here that we do have a new research that is not in the vanilla Long War the Chosen. This is a Shiv unit. This is a mechanical unit. You are given 2 of these for free. They have 7 HP, I think 65 aim, 10 defense, and they are loud, 12 mobility. They also have an increased infiltration time over typical humans, and they may not see a lot of action in this campaign, but we shall see. To start with, though, let's take a look at our roster. Sitting on the sidelines is Emily, Zeetzy, Dr. Briggs, White Knight, Frantic, Codex, Streamy, Majestic Red, Astro Boy, Gamer Greg, Silent Bob, Kelset, Flagship, Hidden Sage, and Jirama Queen Sunstrider. Now we get to look at this Choose My Class mod. So we have a soldier like Great Podensky. We say promotion, choose my class, and presented with 3 options: an agent, a ranger, and a survivalist. The agent is a hacky, shotgunny type character that can use a sniper. The ranger is the vanilla ranger, and the survivalist is a sharpshooter with a lot of great perks. For someone with 16 mobility, 61 aim, 4 health, -1 dodge, we're going to be grabbing the agent, and we'll get more into the trees as we level them up and discuss like why I choose what I do with them. Next up is going to be Karuka, our lovely modder. We have the options of a recon, a hunter, and an infantry. Now the hunter is a hybrid sharpshooter melee class that does take advantage of decent mobility and good aim. The recon is a stealthing unit that can apply holo targeting and stay in stealth, much like a sharpshooter holo targeter can, but with more mobility because they will get access to the SMG. The infantry is similar to a ranger, but also has some perks similar to an assault, and the event that they can help stun and control enemies, as well as a few different perks for increasing their aim on the same target. For this case, we are going to be taking a hunter, not because I'm actually a big fan of the hunter, but because I would like Karuka to become a sniper mech later on. Eagle Claws is going to have 59 aim, 15 mobility, 5 health, and we have options here of a technical, an agent, and a scrapper. Now, a scrapper is a grenadier shotgun type character with a stun that I actually have not used all that much, and so I think for today we're going to actually take a scrapper. Jolie the Barbarian, 66 aim, has the option of a gunner, specialist, and combat engineer with 7 hack. Now, because I am familiar with how challenging some of the mod jam enemies are, I'm going to be taking a specialist. Really, because Field Surgeon is a very good perk. Picking up Revival Protocol as well when you have a Templar start to babysit the Templar allows you to not get shut down from things like Disorient. Next up is going to be Beefy. 63 aim, 4 health, 16 mobility. We have Assault, Infantry, and Sharpshooter. Looks like we're going to be going pretty heavy on the shotguns early on and picking up an Assault here, as those stats work quite well for that class. Krovox has the option of the Arsonist, Gunner, and the Agent. 15 mobility, 63 aim, 4 health. Agent would be a very good pickup here, but I'm going to pick up the very fun Arsonist, who uses a flamethrower, offers a lot of ways to control enemies, and a class I'm very fond of. Kickboxer is going to be our last one with the promotion. 18 mobility, 57 aim, 12 dodge, and 3 health. This looks perfect for a Hoplite. Hoplites specialize in being able to take hits, mitigate those hits down to grazes or misses, and having 12 and 8 dodge to start is just fantastic, as well as the 18 mobility, as they do gain 2 mobility on the squatty rank up to compensate for that shield. Now we're going to immediately create a few squads here that are going to be set up for our first 2 missions. We're going to have the Templar and the Specialist hanging out, and we're going to probably have the Hoplite with the Agent. That way we have a hacking class on either squad. I think we're going to throw the Arsonist in with the Templar. I think we're going to throw the Scrapper in with the Agent, and let's take the Scrapper and throw it in this squad because they do not have Agent, which is a shotgun-based class. We'll throw the Hunter and the Assault here, have multiple shotguns with Hoplite. That squad is very up close and personal. Now this is my no bad timer save in case we get 2 bad timers or even 1 bad timer on our first cycle of missions, which can be very frustrating and detrimental to campaign progression due to just the RNG of them. We are going to get our shivs out as well. Oh, and let's make one change real quick before we forget. Going in here and saying pause and recruit, and abilities use base game tactical HUD. This is going to allow us to have all our abilities seen and not have to use arrows to cycle through them. Quick glance at our Templar, grab our second shiv, and our first thing we're going to research, which we always research, is going to be resistance communication to allow us to see the connections we have on the map. We are going to throw a Haven Advisor in here, and to start with, I'm going to throw an Assault. This is going to be our first glance at some of the other weapons that we will be using. In this case, this will be the Hunting Shotgun, which has a higher damage range than the base shotgun, as well as 1 armor pierce, but I believe it has lower crit chance. Yeah, only 5% compared to the 15 that you get. The weapons add different variety and stats to different playstyles, and you can play around with them and figure out what you like and which one to use. You also takes 2 actions to fully reload the shotgun, the Hunting Shotgun, but you can reload 1 shot and then move or shoot if you would like to as well. So we're going to scan at the Haven, keeping everyone on intel, looking for 2 good timers to start. And our first timer is going to be an 8-day, 8-hour extract. Wonderful. We are going to be sending our first squad, the Raptors. The Templar having an AP grenade already is fantastic. Early on, there is not that many enemies with armor, especially in the first 1 or 2 force levels. And so having units that can quickly clear unarmored pods with AP grenades is a great way to get through missions safely. We also get to see that the Specialist is looking to bond with the Agent, Scrapper, or Hoplite, whereas the Templar was looking to bond with our Agent. Now, that is actually a bond that I am a fan of. The one concern I have right now is bringing both of our hacking classes onto this single mission, But actually, we could alleviate that just a little bit. We could change this up. So what I'm going to do, in the interest of bonding, is actually switch up these starting squads that I had. Instead of the scrapper, we're going to bring the agent. Or actually, we're not going to bring the agent. We're not going to bring this squad. We are going to bring the blackguards here. And we're going to bring out the hoplite. Now, the hoplite does have quite a bit of mobility, which is wonderful, so we can add additional utility there. Karuka is going to keep her sniper rifle for the moment. We do have the hunting shotgun on the assault and the hunting shotgun on the scrapper. And then let's figure out a few rookies we would like to bring. We're looking for people middle of the pack. Having decent will, decent aim, decent mobility, and ideally 4 health. So someone like Flagship would be great here. And if we have someone with higher mobility like Astro Boy, we can use them to go grab crates. We are only bringing a couple frag grenades because we know there's not a whole lot of things with armor, and we do have hunting shotguns which can, in theory, straight kill drones in one shot. This will be our first starting squad. We're going to send them out and look for that second timer and hope it's ideal. There's our second mission with a 7-day 8-hour timer for recover an item from an admin facility. Now, why this is good that we kept this squad back is we have a way to remotely hack and potentially gain some of those early hack rewards with just a little bit more consistency. Once we get the agent upgraded, which we can certainly go into more detail later, but we are going to be picking up this perk called Heist Artist, which is going to give them 150 hack. Agents cannot hack droids, but they can hack objectives very well as leading into this idea of skull mining with multiple charges to gain more intel later on. That's kind of what this agents is going to be played around, with that idea that we're going to be getting into skull mining. This is also going to let us bond the agent with our Templar, which is a great bond, and get these cohesion going on those two. Now I do need a few more rookies to snag. White Knight worries me with his will. He's not going to be able to go out on every mission, but I am going to bring him to see what we can get out of him and potentially make him a Haven advisor if worse comes to worse. I think we're also going to grab Silent Bop here, who does have negative dodge. Do need to be aware of that, but has 69 aim, which is fantastic. We actually can't fit all 5 on this, or all 6 on this mission with this timer. Or can we? No, it does look like we are going to be going down to a 5-man, which is fine. It's kind of the expected amount of soldiers you're going to be spending on these initial missions. We do have a Templar Specialist Arsonist Agent and only a single rookie, 7 to 9 intel package. Let's send them on their merry way. Do not have a Haven advisor currently at the moment since we don't have any soldiers, and we are going to make a save here and discuss more of the geoscape at the start of the next episode. So let's just make the save and say, yeah, this is a work in progress on how it's going to work. We're going to call this YouTube Season 1, Episode 1. Call it there. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching and hope you're enjoying.